Okay guys, I'm going to show you how I created this fire style. The style that I'm about to do, I have been wanting so bad since I seen Foxy Brown with it in the 90s. But I never knew how to execute it. So I finally came up with a way that I could get the style. So that's what I'm about to show you. So you want to start on freshly washed hair, and what you want to do is part a section from ear to ear. Now you're going to be putting ponytails over your entire head, so you do want to make sure that the ponytails from the beginning to the part is not super small, or else they will be really tight and pulling. So I'm a braider, so it's going to take me a minute to get the part into my liking, but you can watch as I do that. Now here I'm just adding a little edge control on the part, and I'm going to go in and define that and make the part even more straight. This is just a technique I've learned over the years of braiding. It works really well for my hair, so that's what I'm going to do here. Here's also a tip that I've learned since being a braider. You can sharpen your parting tools. You just need a nail file and a metal tip rat tail comb. You can sharpen it to your liking. You don't want it super sharp because you don't want to stab yourself, but it's a little trick and it works really well. Sometimes combs can get dull over time, and this is a cost-effective way to sharpen it. Yes, I know ebin is in trouble for doing what they did, but this is already a product that I had in my possession, so I'm going to use it. I'm not promoting it, I'm just showing you what I used in my head, something that I already had. If you have a problem with it, I'll link my Cash App below, and you can send me money so I can buy another product. Until then, I'm going to use what I already had. So this is what the part ended up look like. As I mentioned, I'm a braider, so my parts always tend to be neat. Just do the best that you can do. Here you're going to see me placing my hair into some ponytails. Now as I look at the inspiration pic, I see that she had 6, but for my head is kind of small, so I figured that 6 would be too strenuous on my hair, so I went with 5. Now for you depending on your hair size or the density of your hair, you can do exactly how many ponytails that you prefer to have up here. I would have honestly preferred 6, but 5 worked just as good for me. So here you're going to see me begin to figure out how many ponytails I would like to have in the back. Now you do want to remember that this is a full ponytail hairstyle. So the more ponytails you put in your head, for starters, the more pulling it's going to be. Secondly, the more ponytails you put in your head, it's going to be hard for you to go to sleep. So I like to go to sleep, and being that I think about these things as I'm doing hairstyles, I didn't go with a lot of ponytails in the back. And you'll see once I turn around, I think I went with 5 at the top, and I went with 4 directly behind that. So a total of 9, and then I did 2 more at the bottom. I don't know if my brain works like this or other people's brain work like that as well, but every style that I do, I typically try to remember what I have to do throughout the day, or if it's going to be hard for me to go to sleep, and I put that into play as I'm doing my hair. It works for me. What you see behind me is a mirror. It's a tri-fold mirror. I believe it's a door hanging tri-fold mirror. I got it from Amazon for about $30, but they have it on Temu for $18. So if you're interested, you can definitely get one there. I did like a little mini review on my Instagram. If you don't know what my Instagram is, it's Glittterglam. It is spelled Glittterglam. a.m. And here I'm just continue to part out. As I mentioned, I took and played how many ponytails I needed to have. And a major important part you need to remember when you're doing this hairstyle is that your ponytails need to show each within each other, if that makes sense. So you know how you braid your hair and you have to do brick layers where one fall in between the other? This hairstyle has to be laid out exactly like that. If not, your hair is going to look crazy and it's going to look real spaced out, and you don't want that. You want every ponytail that you have in front, the next row a ponytail needs to fall in between it. It's going to give you a really full look, and you'll see what I mean at the end. So here I'm just taking the edge control. Yes, I'm using that edge control. I'm going to make my ponytails more precise, and you're going to see me begin to mold the hair into the ponytails. Now this is not just a slick back into the rubber band type of ponytails. Because these are on the edge of my hair, I wanted them to give them a little oomph. So I kind of swooped my hair to the side a little bit and then slicked it back into a ponytail. So that's what you'll see me doing here. Guys, please remember this is a ponytail hairstyle, so you do not want to wrap the rubber band super tight, because you will also be wrapping hair around the ponytail as well. And if your scalp is bunched up or pulling in any direction, that's going to cause breakage. We don't want that. So make sure your ponytails are secure but not super tight. You also want to remember, the neater your parts, the better the style will look. So for these last two sections, I opted to do the outside section before the very last section, just to make sure I'm not pulling super tight. One way to know if you're pulling too tight is if when you place your ponytails in your head, if your parts have altered or went crooked, their ponytails are probably too tight, and you might want to adjust those. Also, remember, for these outer ponytails, you want to do more of a swoop motion as you're going back, not just straight back. I feel that gives it more of a 90s feel versus just combing the hair straight back into the ponytail. Make sure you're filling in all gaps and apply the products that works for your head. As I mentioned in my previous video, being that my hair is relaxed, mousse works for my hair along with a certain edge control. So that's why you always see me applying mousse, because it helps soften up the edge control, and I'm able to manipulate the hair and get all the gaps out, and just sleek my ponytails as good as possible. So when doing this back section, you want to make sure the ponytails are in between each other. Remember, when you braid your hair, brick layer, so you need to have one fall over the other. That's the same exact thing you want to remember as you're doing this style. So as I'm doing this ponytail, and remember, I told you I want to go to sleep as well. So if I put a ponytail in the middle of my head or in the back, I'm not going to be able to lay down. So you'll see as I part this out, you're going to see me slick the ponytail up. The ponytail need to be positioned up to the top and in between the two ponytails that's in the front. Hopefully that makes sense. Here it goes. You see me slicking the ponytail up. The ponytail, you see the two in the front, this ponytail needs to fall directly in between it to give your head a full look. So you're going to slick your ponytail up, but you also want to make sure that it falls in between the two in the front. And you're going to do the same thing for each of the ponytails in this row. Make sure you're not pulling too tight. Tight ponytails cause breakage. This right here is a perfect view of what I was saying. You see how the one in the back falls in between the two? You want to make sure that all of your ponytails on the second row is like that. And baby, I don't know what I was listening to, but that was my song. Make sure you're getting your parts as straight as possible, as straight as you can get them, because the straighter the parts, the better the hairstyle looks. For the back, we're just going to do two normal ponytails. Make sure they're not super tight, but these are going to be centered at the very nape of the neck, because you want the hair to essentially fall over your shoulders, giving you a look of a full head of hair. And bam, now that the hair is all the way slicked up, I'm showing you exactly what I mean. Make sure that all of your ponytails on the second row fall in between the ponytails in the front. It's going to give you a better look. Now apparently I skipped a step, so I'm going to tell you exactly what I did to get here. I put product on each ponytail, twisted it, folded it in half. Oh, here it is right here. For some reason that's out of whack. So you're going to see me place product on the hair. I'm going to twist the hair and I'm going to fold it in half, fold it up, and place a rubber band on it going down the twist. You'll be able to see what I'm talking about in a second. Now I had a method to why I did it like this. I'm going to be doing invisible ponytails, and if you know anything about invisible ponytails, the longer it is, the longer the hair would be. I'm using 2 packs of 20-inch hair, and I used a pack of 16, and I needed this to be about maybe boob length. I didn't want this to be 30 inches. And everyone knows when you're doing the invisible ponytail, the longer your foundation is, the longer the hair will be, and that's not what I wanted. So here, this is a better view. You see me add product. I'm going to twist it all the way down. I fold it in half, make sure the ends are not sticking out. I'm going to add a rubber band, and I'm going to add this all the way down the twist so the twist don't come loose. I did that for my entire hair, and I'm going to spray some Gots to be on it. I didn't have my blow dryer in the bathroom with me, so I'm just going to fan that dry. Now you're going to need these black strips right here to protect your hair from the glue. I took each strip, I cut them in half, and then I ended up actually cutting them in half again, so I got 4 pieces out of each strip. You're also going to need your 30-second glue. And what you want to do is wrap the black strip around your hair. Make sure you're folding and tucking the ends. And you're going to wrap that all the way up the ponytail to make sure that your hair is completely covered. And I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on the end to seal the black strip so it does not unravel. So I'm going to show you guys again. I take the black strip, I wrap it around once or twice, tuck the ends. I'm pretty sure a lot of you know how to tuck. You're going to continue to wrap up your ponytail until you get to the very end. Take a dab of hair glue, place it on the end, and make sure you just roll that so it does not unravel. Place your rubber band for just security, and you're going to wrap it down the strip to make sure that the strips does not come loose. And I did that for the entire head. And you're probably wondering why I did that, so the ponytails will be flexible. I need them to bend if I need them to bend a certain way, and this is a method that I know that I could do that. So I used some organique synthetic hair. This is 20-inch bone yaki straight, bone straight, yaki, I believe it's yaki straight. And what I did was cut the track into maybe like a 4 to 5 inch piece. I added hair glue. You only need hair glue on the tip of the track just to make sure it does not slip out. You're going to begin to wrap up the ponytail. Now you see this piece of track that I'm using, that is way too long, and I learned that as I'm doing my hair. People don't like to do their hair because it's time consuming, but every time I do my hair I learned something new. For me, for this style, I learned that when you're doing invisible ponytails, you do not need to work with a super long track. When you work with a track that's too long, it makes it hard to wrap. So if you work with a track that's maybe about 2 to 3 inches long, it works a lot better. See this little piece of track that I have in my hand? Watch how much easier it is for me to wrap it around versus that long track that I just had on the previous ponytail. I apply glue to the beginning of each track to the end of each track. Anything in the middle is going to be sticking to the glue that I placed on the black strip. You see, I learned my lesson. I took a small track, organique. This is organique, straight. I believe it's kinky straight, honestly, because it has some type of texture to it. And I layer as I go because it's easier for me to layer as I go and have a guideline than to get to the end of my head and do everything from scratch. So here, perfect example. You put glue on the beginning of the track, you put glue on the black strip, and you're going to begin to wrap. You wrap once or twice to make sure the track is secure. By this being 30-second glue, it's going to stick within a matter of seconds. So from there, you're just wrapping. And you're going to hold the ends to make sure that it is secure, but you're just going to wrap up. And when you do it like this versus putting the hair on the glue and try to wrap up, it's a lot easier to control where the glue goes. I learned in one of the back ones that wrapping with glue on the track already is a surefire way to get hair glue in your hair. And you do want to make sure that after you completely wrap your ponytail, you're going to blow dry just for a few seconds to make sure everything sticks. And for this style, it depends on how thick you want your hair or how thick your hair is, how much weave your ponytails can hold. I just needed my style to look full. I did not want it to be super heavy on my head. So my ponytails in the back was a lot fuller than the ones up top. So after I wrapped everything, guys, I'm so sorry, I skipped some steps. I wrapped everything and then I began to just cover the tracks in the front. Now I only covered the tracks in the front because by the time I got to the back I was being lazy, and I used a piece of braiding hair to actually cover the tracks in the front. It was a lot easier than me trying to use the hair that was wrapped around because it's so silky, it was coming loose. So if you just take a little piece of braiding hair and just wrap it around, it sticks a lot better than using the hair that we placed for the ponytails. I don't know what happened. Something got cut out and I'm not going to go back and fix it, so you guys can kind of figure out what I did from there. Here you see me doing my edges, and I'm going to go in and try to fix the layers. Now, by this being synthetic hair, my layers was not layering how I needed them to be, but it got the job done. And here you see me trying to flat iron this synthetic hair. It does curl, but you have to leave the heat on super long in order for it to do it. So that's what you see me here doing, just trying to curl the hair up. Guys, I'm so sorry. I do not know what happened to that section that's missing, but all I did was finish wrapping all the hair. I showed you exactly how to wrap the hair, so that part is actually shown. And then I took just a little piece of braiding hair because it was much easier to use braiding hair than the hair from the pack, and I just wrapped and covered the tracks. But baby, this right here is the final look. You can't tell me I'm not giving 90s baddie. Baby, the Foxy Brown ponytails are ponytailing. They are fire. The 3 styles that I found for this type of tutorial was not giving what I'm giving. So hopefully you learned how to do this style. Hopefully you use it. I'll have my social media information listed below. Follow your girl because I'm going to give y'all more fire tutorials. Baby, she is eating. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos. I hope you like, share, subscribe. I'll be posting more. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Toodles.